In a serene monastery nestled high in the mountains, where the air was crisp and the silence was broken only by the gentle rustling of leaves, there lived a wise and revered master. His disciples, eager to learn the ways of the world and the secrets of the mind, often gathered around him, seeking his guidance on matters of the heart and spirit. One crisp autumn morning, as the sun's first light began to spill over the peaks, the master called his disciples to gather under the ancient oak tree that stood at the heart of the monastery. The tree, with its gnarled branches and deep roots, had witnessed countless seasons and countless teachings, and it was here that the master often imparted his most profound lessons. As the disciples settled down, forming a circle around their master, they could sense that today's lesson would be different, perhaps even life-changing. The master, with his usual calm demeanor, looked at each of them with a gaze that seemed to see into their very souls. After a moment of silence, he began to speak. Today, the master said, I wish to share with you a story, one that holds within it a lesson that could transform the way you live your lives. But before I begin, tell me, my dear disciples, have you ever felt overwhelmed by your emotions? Have you ever been consumed by anger, frustration, or sorrow, to the point where you felt as though you were no longer in control? The disciples exchanged glances, each remembering their own struggles. One by one, they nodded, acknowledging the truth in the master's words. I see, the master continued, his voice gentle yet filled with wisdom. It is a common experience, one that binds us all as human beings. Emotions are powerful forces, and when we do not understand them, they can lead us astray, causing pain and suffering not only to ourselves but to those around us. But what if I told you that within each of you lies the power to master these emotions, to transform them into something beautiful and liberating? The disciples leaned in closer, their curiosity piqued. Let me tell you the story of a great king who, despite all his power, was once at the mercy of his own emotions, the master began. And let me also tell you the story of a man, not so different from yourselves, who embarked on a journey of self-discovery to reclaim control over his inner world. Through these stories, you will learn that the key to mastering your emotions is not to suppress them, but to understand them, to observe them, and to choose your response with wisdom and clarity. The master paused, letting his words sink in. The disciples listened intently, their minds already beginning to shift as they prepared to receive the teachings that would follow. And so, the master said, a slight smile playing on his lips. Let us begin with the tale of the king and the fly, and the lessons he learned about the power of non-reaction. And with that, the master began to weave the stories that would lead his disciples on a journey through the depths of their own emotions, guiding them toward the realization that within them lay the power to transform their lives. In the intricate tapestry of our lives, emotions are the threads that give color and texture to our experiences. They can uplift us with joy, love, and excitement, but they can also bind us in knots of anger, frustration, and sorrow. We've all been there, caught in the throes of intense emotions, feeling as though we're being swept away by a powerful current. But what if I told you that, within you, there exists an anchor, a power to remain calm, grounded, and in control, no matter how strong the emotional storm? Yes, within each of us lies the potential to master our emotions, to transform them into something that not only liberates us but also enhances our lives. Through the timeless teachings of Gautam Buddha and the relatable experiences of an ancient king and a modern man named Michael, we are reminded of this extraordinary power. And today, we'll delve deep into this wisdom, exploring how it can bring about a profound change in your life. Right here, right now. Picture this, you're in the middle of a challenging day. Perhaps you've had an argument with a loved one. Or maybe a situation at work has spiraled out of control. Your emotions flare up, anger, frustration, maybe even despair. It's natural to feel overwhelmed, and the temptation to react instantly is strong. But here's a thought that could change everything. What if your reaction, not the situation itself, is what truly shapes the outcome? Imagine the power that gives you. Suddenly, you realize that you are not at the mercy of external events. Instead, you hold the reins. You decide how to respond, how to shape your reality. Isn't that an incredibly empowering realization? in our fast-paced, ever-changing world, we're constantly bombarded with stressors, deadlines, social expectations, personal challenges. It's no wonder that our emotions can sometimes feel like they're spinning out of control. But here's the truth: the key to navigating these challenges isn't found in controlling the external world, but in mastering our internal world. By practicing mindfulness and cultivating the art of non-reaction, you can discover a new level of personal power and freedom. This doesn't mean ignoring or suppressing your emotions, far from it. Instead, it's about recognizing them, understanding their origins, and making conscious choices about how to respond. Imagine the peace and clarity this could bring to your life. Let's take a journey back in time, a journey to a grand kingdom ruled by a powerful king. This king, like many of us, was accustomed to having everything his way. He was strong, decisive, and used to being in control. But he also had a quick temper, easily irritated by even the smallest inconvenience. One day, he decided to visit a neighboring kingdom, a land known not for its wealth or power, but for the wisdom of its ruler. The king arrived at the neighboring kingdom and was welcomed with great pomp and ceremony. A lavish feast was prepared in his honor, with the finest foods and wines laid out before him. As he sat down to enjoy the meal, something caught his eye: a small fly had landed in his soup. Instantly, his mood darkened. He was disgusted and ordered his servant to bring him a fresh bowl of soup. The atmosphere at the table grew tense. Everyone could sense the king's displeasure, but the wise king of the neighboring kingdom, observing the situation, remained calm. He gently addressed the visiting king: "Your Majesty, it is not the fly that has spoiled your mood, but your reaction to it. You have the power to control your emotions. Do not let such a small thing have such a large impact on you." Can you feel the weight of those words? For the visiting king, they were a revelation. In that moment, he realized that his peace had been shattered not by the fly, but by his own inability to remain calm in the face of such a minor annoyance. This realization was profound. Upon returning to his own kingdom, the king began practicing the art of non-reaction. He learned to pause, to breathe, and to choose his responses carefully. Over time, he found that this simple shift in mindset brought him greater peace and clarity, not just in his personal life, but in his role as a ruler. He was able to govern his kingdom, and himself, with a wisdom and composure that he had never known before. Fast forward to our modern world, a world where you and I navigate the complexities of daily life. This is the story of Michael, a man much like you and me. Michael was a passionate, driven individual, but he often found himself caught in the grip of his emotions. He was quick to anger, and his impulsive reactions frequently led to arguments, misunderstandings, and strained relationships. Sound familiar? After a particularly painful argument with a close friend, Michael had a moment of clarity. He realized that his emotions were controlling him, and that this was leading him down a path of conflict and regret. He decided that something had to change. Michael turned to mindfulness and meditation, seeking a way to regain control over his emotional life. Now, imagine the courage it took for Michael to embark on this journey. To look within, to face his own flaws, and to commit to change. It's not easy. But Michael was determined. As he began to practice mindfulness, something remarkable happened. He started to notice his emotions as they arose, almost as if he were an observer rather than a participant. When anger or frustration bubbled up, he would pause, take a deep breath, and allow himself a moment to process what he was feeling. This simple act of pausing gave him the space he needed to choose his response, rather than reacting impulsively. At first, it wasn't easy. Old habits die hard, and there were times when Michael still found himself caught in the throes of his emotions. But with each day of practice, he grew stronger. He found that he could remain calm even in situations that would have previously triggered an outburst. His relationships began to improve, no longer marred by arguments and hurt feelings, but instead built on thoughtful communication and mutual respect. People around him noticed the change, admiring his newfound calm and composure. Perhaps you see a bit of yourself in Michael. Or maybe, like the seeker who once approached Gautam Buddha, you find yourself struggling with your own emotions, anger, frustration, perhaps even anxiety or fear. These emotions can feel overwhelming, and it's easy to feel like you're at their mercy. But here's the truth: you are not powerless. Just as the king and Michael discovered, you too have the power to choose your responses, to master your emotions, and to transform your life. The seeker who approached Buddha was in a state of turmoil, desperate for a way to control his emotions. He asked Buddha for guidance, hoping for a quick solution. But Buddha, in his infinite wisdom, did not offer an easy answer. Instead, he shared a story that mirrored the seeker's own struggles, allowing him to see the wisdom that already lay within him. Buddha's teachings remind us that the journey toward emotional mastery is not about suppressing our feelings or pretending they don't exist. Rather, it's about creating space between stimulus and response, space where we can observe our emotions, understand their roots, and make conscious choices about how to act. Anger will never disappear so long as thoughts of resentment are cherished in the mind. Anger will disappear just as soon as thoughts of resentment are forgotten. This wisdom speaks directly to the heart of the matter: to find peace. We must learn to let go of our attachment to anger and other negative emotions. So, how can you begin this journey toward emotional mastery? How can you cultivate the art of non-reaction and discover the peace that lies within you? Here are some practical steps to guide you. 1. Mindfulness meditation. Start by setting aside time each day for mindfulness meditation. Find a quiet place, sit comfortably, and focus on your breath. As you breathe in and out, allow your thoughts and emotions to arise naturally, but don't get attached to them. Simply observe them as they come and go, like clouds passing through the sky. Over time, this practice will help you become more aware of your emotional triggers and give you the space to choose your responses. It's a powerful way to reclaim control over your inner world. 2. Breathing exercises. In moments of intense emotion, whether it's anger, anxiety, or frustration, pause and take a few deep breaths. Breathing deeply calms your nervous system, bringing clarity and perspective to your mind. It's a simple yet effective way to prevent impulsive reactions and allow yourself time to process what's happening. Think of it as a reset button for your emotions. 3. Reflection. After an emotionally charged situation, take some time to reflect on how you responded. Ask yourself, did my reaction align with who I want to be? Could I have handled the situation differently? This kind of reflection isn't about self-criticism. It's about learning and growing. By understanding what triggered your emotions and how you reacted, you can make better choices in the future. It's a process of continuous improvement, and it's incredibly empowering. 4. Patience and persistence. Remember, mastering your emotions is a journey, not a destination. It takes time, practice, and persistence. Be patient with yourself. Celebrate the small victories, and don't be too hard on yourself when you stumble. Each step forward, no matter how small, is progress. Over time, you'll find that your ability to remain calm and composed grows stronger, and your life becomes more peaceful and fulfilling. 5. Seek support. Don't embark on this journey alone. Share your experiences with trusted friends, mentors, or even a community of like-minded individuals. Having the support of others who understand and encourage your growth can make a world of difference. They can offer guidance, share their own insights, and help you stay committed to your path. Together, you can achieve incredible things. As we come to the end of this exploration, I want to leave you with a powerful truth. The stories of the king, Michael, and the seeker all lead us to one profound realization: you have the power to control your emotions. Yes, you. The mind is everything. What you think, you become. By practicing mindfulness and the art of non-reaction, you can transform your life in ways you may have never imagined. You can build stronger relationships, make wiser decisions, and find a deep sense of inner peace that perhaps you once thought was out of reach. Imagine living each day with that kind of freedom. Imagine facing life's challenges with calm and grace, knowing that you have the power to choose your responses. This isn't just about managing emotions, it's about living fully, about embracing the present moment with all its beauty and complexity. Do not dwell in the past, do not dream of the future, concentrate the mind on the present moment. These words from Buddha are an invitation to live here, now, with awareness and intention. So, my friend, let go of what weighs you down. Let go of the need to react to every little thing. Embrace the power within you to respond with wisdom, with compassion, with love. The journey may be challenging, but the rewards are beyond measure. The root of suffering is attachment. By letting go of our attachments to anger, fear, and impulse, we open the door to true happiness and freedom. Remember, the power to transform your life lies within you, right now, in this very moment. Seize it. Live it. Let this journey of self-discovery and emotional mastery begin, and watch as it transforms not just your life, but the lives of those around you. The possibilities are endless, and the path ahead is filled with promise. All it takes is a single step. Will you take it?